Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 20th of September. It's a Friday. It's just slightly after 6 p.m. where we go live every week with a weekly roundup. And I have to tell you, not only have I missed you guys this week, even though I did do a B Bible video and Patriot Gallery did, I think, 2 shows. You guys have a lot to catch up on. There's so much news. We haven't done news. I'm like, this is crazy.
I don't even know how we're going to pack it all in.
But we are going to pack it in.
We're going to try.
It makes me happy. I mean, honestly, Trump does tell it like it is. And, you know, so many times we talk about this on the show, but while Leah's pulling it up, we have people that get upset about Trump's crassness. He literally just says what he's thinking and he tells the truth. Okay? Yeah. I'm sorry that it doesn't come out in presidential ease the way that you would like it, all boxed and packaged. I think of Buskin's cookies put in their nice little package, and here you go. That's what you're wanting, and instead he just kind of like a short order cook, like, order up, there you go, eat your sandwich. Okay, it's a yummy sandwich. It doesn't have to be all like fancy or whatever. Some fries wrapped in some newspaper.
It's nice.
I mean, seriously, I want the fries in the greasy newspaper. I don't care. So, here's a nice little package. Can you julienne my potatoes, please?
So Trump went, that was really good. CNN went to northern Minnesota to talk to a deep blue Democrats and why Minnesotans are voting Trump.
You talked about this earlier. This is great.
Watch.
Northern Minnesota, things are changing. The temperature, the leaves, the politics. Are we talking thousands of people sort of shifting and changing their politics?
Yeah.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
Once a Democratic stronghold, many of the voters we talk to here say more and more they align with the president.
Her 2 brothers were staunch Union Democrats for years, and they're not anymore.
This is mining country. Not coal mining, but taconite, a mineral used in making steel. 40, 50 years ago, the Iron Range, as it's called, was booming, bringing big city prosperity to small towns like Evelyn.
Things were just going gangbusters. Businesses all over. And when it crashed, everybody was caught by surprise. It crashed hard.
The number of mining jobs in the region went from over 14,000 in the 80s to just about 4,500 today, leaving families and main streets to suffer. Robert Blisevich has been the mayor of Evelyn for 18 years, on and off. He votes Democrat on state races, but he's got a Trump sticker on his desk, a Christmas card from the president on his bulletin board, and the deer on his office wall sports a MAGA hat. The political support for the president, part of this is really just a matter of survival.
Economics. Yep. That's, he's our guy. He supports mining. He's our guy.
Our steel industry is vibrant again. It was dead.
Amazing.
Trump's tariffs on imported steel are popular. So is his easing of environmental regulations. They also like his crackdown on immigration. In a state that's 80% white, the influx of Somali refugees has been a contentious issue. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Ohmar is a controversial figure here.
She offends a lot of people.
She's not popular here.
No, not at all.
Folks here say they didn't leave the Democratic Party. The party left them.
That's really true, actually. And my heart almost goes out to these Democrats. Mm-hmm. And we say this all the time on the show. You know what? Most of my liberal friends are standard Democrats. They're not these crazy pussy hat wearing, you know, they don't probably care for the Somalian, refugee communities coming in. And, you know, can I just pause real quickly? Where do the Somali refugees and all the other Muslims coming into our country, having lots and lots and lots of children to take over our country, fit into the we need to stop breeding for our environment thing for the left? I mean, do they recognize that they're joining hand in hand with Ilhan Omar? How many kids does she have? Like 4? Because they're taught that in order for them to take over politics in the United States, they need to come here and start having lots of children. You know what? I can't fault them for it. It's an excellent, excellent game plan. Excellent.
We are going to talk about Ilhan Omar in just 1 second, but I wanted to take a commercial break. there is wall being built.
Oh, folks, but he got fired up when we started talking, and here's why. We've had Democrats on the show saying the president is not telling the truth. That's what they claim when he says and boasts that there's new wall being built. I'm here to say the president is right and they are wrong, and that's not an opinion. That's my reporting with my own 2 eyes. I was there. There is, in fact, miles and miles of new wall being built, and it's working. Number Patrol folks.
So I was. So let us go over here.
Oh, snap.
Ilhan Omar was in the news this week because she deleted a tweet that somebody found in 2013 that said to her father, "Happy birthday." It said, "Happy birthday, happy Father's Day to my Abu Nursaid. I am forever grateful to Allah for giving me the best father." That was a June 2013 tweet, which was deleted Tuesday morning.
Oops.
She says that Nursaid was a nickname, which means happy light in Arabic. However, very few people in Somalia actually speak Arabic. They speak Somali. Okay? So she deleted this tweet. Now, remember, her ex-husband's name that we can't find, blah, blah, blah. His name is Ahmed Nursaid Elmi. All right? And so when you take on the name of your father, so she would be Ilhan Nursaid, not Ilhan Omar, because her father's name is Nursaid.
Now, why is that important? Why is her name important, Leah?
Because it proves that she married her brother.
She married her brother.
In Somalian culture, the father's name becomes part of the son's last name. Omar's spokesperson said Wednesday that Nursaid is actually a nickname. Nursaid means happy light. So just a coincidence that she married somebody with the last name Nursaid, and her father's first name was Nursaid.
Now, if we were just against, what is it called when you marry your sibling?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a name for it. If we were just against that, that would inbreeding. I don't know, but they didn't have kids together. That would be one thing. It's the fact that she married him to get him over here as a citizen. This is wrong. It's illegal. It's fraudulent, and you can't hold office in the United States if you have immigration fraud on your record.
So, what is his real first name if this is his nickname?
That's a good question.
Incest,
but yeah, they didn't sleep together. I don't think this was an incestual relationship. No. Okay, she literally just married him to get him over here.
Means happy light, and it's been her dad's nickname since he was a kid. He has a public page with the same name. He calls himself this. She isn't deleting it for disturbing and hateful reasons, they said, that are being implied. There are at least 3 contradictions to this explanation. Ilhan Omar's sister listed Nursaid Elmi as her father's name on her marriage certificate. So what is his first name then? In December 2016, a man named Suleiman of something wrote on Facebook, "On Wednesday night, I had the opportunity to have dinner with State Representative-elect Ilhan Omar and her lovely sis, Leila Elmi. Leila's 1997 marriage certificate shows that she lived in Camden, a neighborhood of London, and was 24 years old that year. It shows that her father's name was Nursaid Elmi. Omar's ex-husband's Elmi's Facebook page with the Daily Caller News Foundation archived on June 23rd shows he was attending the Haverstock School as a 12-year-old in the same neighborhood during that time period. The profile was deleted. As part of her divorce in 2017, Omar swore under oath that she had not seen her husband since 2012, did not know any members of his immediate family, and was not in contact with anyone who might know him. A lengthy news profile that was the result of an extended interview with Omar listed her father's name as Nursaid Elmi Mohammed before scrubbing it without explanation. In October 2016, when Omar was running for state legislator, she cooperated with the local city pages for a lengthy portrait that appeared to come almost entirely from a one-on-one in-person interview with Omar. Alpha News noticed that in the story, which was originally published on Wednesday, October 26, Zorowski wrote that Ilhan Omar's father's name is Nursaid Elmi Mohammed. A day later, Zorowski's article was changed, and now Omar's father's name appears in the article as Nur Omar Mohammed. The article noted another correction at the end, but made no mention of changing the father's name. Alpha News published screenshots of the change and asked Zurkowski why he changed the name, but he replied, "I screwed up on the reporting, hence the corrections." The city pages did not return a request for elaboration. Nursed means happy light in Arabic, but Somalis speak the Somali language, not Arabic. Nursed is on Facebook, where his friends comment on his posts exclusively in Somali and sometimes in English, but never Arabic. Somali and Arabic do not even have the same letters. On Facebook, under languages spoken, he does list knowledge of Arabic and numerous other languages, but he lists Somali first. And then most Somalis have a very limited knowledge of Arabic. Nursed is a common name in Somalia. It's unlikely that someone would be referred to by a foreign phrase that happened to be a name in the local language, but not the person's name.
Right.
Unlikely it would be used not as a name. A Somali is official, and most of the population speak it. He said that Arabic is also listed as an official language, but almost no young know of it or even say it. According to the city page's profile, Ohmar's grandfather was a high-level government official in the administration of Said Barre, who in 1969 led a newly independent Somalia with a sense of nationalism and self-identity. Such a person would likely use Somalian. Ohmar's spokesman did not respond to this. So we have this cray-crayness going on. It's just cray-cray.
So Peter says, how is it possible that Ohmar was elected to Congress? I cannot understand that a fraud like her would get in. If you listen to her, just literally watching her teeth and her mouth move is mesmerizing. I have to admit it. I mean, she is mesmerizing to watch speak. And so if she already has a family history of foreign government officials, okay, then she would be the one that would make sense. We need to get somebody in our Somalian community to represent us. So we're going to pick her. She's charismatic. People like to listen to her. She's beautiful. She has it all going on, except for this tiny little fact that she married her brother to get him here. And so what they did was they came up with this elaborate plan to try to cover it up. And it's not really working.
Yeah, so the Imam Mohammed Tawhidi, who would know better than anyone else, says this: your father is Nursed, not Nur Omar Mohammed, so you're Ilhan Nursed. And you married Amid Nursed. You married your brother. Resign. And then of course.
Oh. Is it frozen?
I don't know.
It looks like your mouse isn't working at all.
Nothing is working right now.
Try Control-Alt-Delete and see what comes up. See if it'll unfreeze.
So anyways, he goes on to say, you did marry your brother.
You married your brother. Just admit it.
Yeah.
And then go to jail.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. Unplug this and let's see if it resets something. No, that's not going to reset it.
Give me that, please. I'm going to try this again.
Okay. So a lot of people in the chat are saying that they think that her brother is a homosexual, that they've seen that
really?
Out there. I have not seen that, but it is possible. I'm not going to say that that's not it. Wicked Psych says her background life is the least that I worry about. Obviously, the policies that she's trying to impose are what you worry about, but you utilize the fact that she's a fraud in order to...
I'm going to have to shut down and turn it back on.
Wait a minute. Just wait. Did you Control-Alt-Delete it again?
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working.
Did you escape?
Escape. Yeah, we're going to have to shut down and bring it back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so now that that's black, I need to adjust the lighting here so that we're not looking like ghosts. We're not ghosts. I literally have to... if somebody has an answer for lighting for a webcam that... I don't know. You can let me know. I do the best I can now that I actually have the ability to adjust for the lighting. It does make it a little bit better, but I'm literally doing the very best that I can.
Yeah, and I really want to bring this back up because I want to play one more video for you guys before we sign off. And it was Candace Owens today during a White House or the House Representatives Committee on White Supremacy, and she was brought in as like the Republican expert witness. They had 3 white women there talking about the rise of white supremacy, and one of them implied that the Christchurch shooter mentioned her name and that she laughed about it. which she just totally obliterates everybody there. And you've got to see this. You've got to see it. So, all right, we're gonna bring us back here in a second.
Speaking of seeing things, so I have some ideas for some stuff I want to do. For starters, Dale, you sent those spicy noodles. I'm going to try this week to get footage of Leah eating them. So that's number one. Number two is I want to have our friend Stacy on to talk about her dad,
I forgot about that.
who had this amazing come to Jesus moment. It's one of those stories that you only hear about. Like, he literally died and met Jesus and came back to life. And she's been praying for him, and she's talked to us about her prayers for him over the years. And so she has agreed to come on our show and talk about that. So I'm going to have her on. And I was also thinking about asking our friend Serge to come on, because he's kind of launched this new almost life coaching. It is life coaching that he does online. And the music that you hear, that the beginning with the thunderclaps, that's actually a song that he wrote. I just took that portion from it. You can find it at the very end when the credits roll. That's his song. And it says, go to soundcloud.com, Planet Dominique, I think. You can go and listen to his music there, but he's one of our most amazing friends that we trust, I think, more than anybody.
Yeah.
And so I want to have him on too. So I'm hoping to do some more different types of things for our show.
Yes, let's mix it up, mix and match. You did your Bible study this week. You took people out to the bees. Yeah.
And Patriot Gallery's amazing shows.
Patriot Gallery's amazing shows. All right, so I don't know if you're quite ready for this, but
you're not ready.
Get your seatbelt on.
Buckle up.
I have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're of course not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document, but I do think that laughing at it is a real problem, because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from a place of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools. And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter, or it doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Every member now has had 5 minutes and... Okay, and Mr. Clay, so we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet.
No, Mark Meadows.
And we'll give an opportunity for a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr. Meadows was next.
Mr. Meadows, okay.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Grimm.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so you know, I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, you know, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So, Ms. Owens, you can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second?
I'll yield to the...
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more, and I've said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism is ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is attempt to make the election all about race as the Democrats.
Not in my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time.
Yeah,
it's my time.
You've got your time, Mr. Meadows. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is. Because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable. And I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration. He also cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number one.
Oh, Candace, come back. Come back.
I know.
We need you. Isn't she so great? Oh my gosh. You know, they think Ivanka is going to be the first woman president. I think it's going to be
father
Candace.
absence. Number 2, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce. And it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Now look at this.
I'll yield back.
Jim Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows.
I want you to just watch the very end because I want you to just key in on Jim Jordan.
Testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Look at that guy's laughing. To watch Jim Jordan.
I'll yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows.
I don't know how well you guys can see. Oh, yeah, you saw it.
She's trending on Twitter.
Oh my
She's trending on Twitter,
gosh.
and so you know what? A lot of people have questioned Candace Owens from the beginning.
Yeah.
I question her no more.
Right.
Question her no more. She is good. That stuff comes from your soul.
Yeah. You know, and I think that she is kind of like fine wine. She's gotten better with age, and her very short time in the limelight, I think, has made her better. Because in the beginning, I really questioned her as well, and so I have no problem saying, you know what, I support Candace Owens, and we've supported her from the beginning, but there were some things about her that I didn't really like. But I think she's kind of risen above that, and I just love her so much.
Let me play this here because this is one of her opening statements.
A Black American today, and I want to first start off by saying that white supremacy is indeed real. But despite the media's obsessive coverage of it, it represents an isolated, uncoordinated, and fringe occurrence within America. It's a fringe occurrence that is being used, in my opinion, by Democrats to scare Americans into giving up their votes to a party that can no longer win based on simple ideas, which is why we're seeing so many of these hearings back to back, despite other threats that are facing this nation. I want to reiterate that point. White supremacy is real, just as racism is real, but neither of these ideologies are real in this room. They have become mechanisms for the left to continue to call these hearings and to distract from much bigger issues that are facing this country and which threaten minorities. Much bigger issues that they are responsible for. I want to testify just as a Black American.
Yeah, she's
wow.
just on fire.
She is. This girl is on fire. Gotta love her.
Yeah.
I like that Trump has really kind of taken her in to his inner sanctum, you know, along with Charlie Kirk, and he's surrounding himself by good people. I mean, seriously, if you got Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and you love them and you support them.
This is from Trump's rally in New Mexico, I guess last week, and I want to play this about censorship and things.
And you must never forget, get out there and vote and get ready and get everybody. We need it because we're fighting a lot of forces, including Facebook, I saw, and Google, I saw. Did you see Google? He said, I may have lost 2 million to 10 million votes, according to this character that worked at Google, right? And we still won. How the hell did we win? Everybody was against us. How did we win? How did we win? This is a Google executive. From 2 million to 10.5 million votes. And we won. I don't know. We must be doing. I will say this. That happened, and people came from the valleys. They came from everywhere. They came from places that nobody's ever talked about before. And it was the forgotten men and women. But the truth is, I know these men and women, and they're the most incredible men and women in this country. They really
are. So you wanted to see, you need
Oh
to see
my
that
gosh.
clip. So I think that's all for our show today, guys. We're right at our little 2-hour mark.
Yes, we are.
I had a couple more stories, but we'll just wait. Come back on Sunday. Come back on Sunday for our UK Europe show. Join us again
On Sunday at 1 p.m.
Sunday
Eastern
at
Standard
1.
Time. Roughly. So follow us on Instagram. Because I really want to see how that takes off.
It's going to be so much fun. We're going to post so much narcissistic selfies. You won't even know what to do with it.
Like us
I'm going to carry around a makeup bag so that you don't have to see the haggy old face with no makeup.
We're
Michelle's
going to be
just
the
going
selfiest
to take
selfiers
pictures of all
ever.
of our food. We're going to take pictures of everywhere we go. We're going to just be picture maniacs because that's what Instagram is all about. Narcissism on steroids.
Maybe that's why we haven't joined it yet. Well, we have now, but all right, you guys, we love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it is not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. And we'll see you back on Sunday. God bless.
Shine, Jesus, shine.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you called my name.